Great stories make great television.
Get down on the ground!
CNN presents winner 2005 Peabody Award and the IDA's Best Documentary Series.
This is Monday morning, August 29th, 2005.
You're looking around and you're saying to yourself, is this the end of the world?
There was no law. There was no order.
The police officers decided to shoot first and ask questions later.
I realized they were shooting at us when I was running zigzag, trying to dodge the bullets.
We got guys out here, shooting at the police.
Being the police doesn't give you any magic superpowers. A lot of the bad guys have guns just like ours.
Everybody knows the worst case scenario, but I knew this one was ours.
Jennifer, put your hand behind your back!
Be advised, I got 10 people we rescued that we need transported to the Superdome.
When New Orleans awoke that Monday morning after Katrina, it was only the beginning. Over the next week, a city would become a lake.
Get us up on out of here!
Its citizens trapped.
Hold your breath. Yeah.
Its criminals plunging the city into anarchy.
Armageddon. That's what it's like. It's like Armageddon.
And a police department with a dark past would break into pieces. And by the end, among New Orleans' dead, Danny Brumfield, a 45-year-old grandfather who his family says was just looking for help when he was killed by police.
You could hear people saying, "Oh my God." You could hear people saying, "I can't believe the police just did that." It was outrage.
Also among the dead, Ronald Madison, a mentally retarded man shot in the back. He died at the foot of this bridge.
They killed your brother. Yes.
Two men dead, Ronald Madison and Danny Brumfield. Killed not by Katrina, but by the New Orleans cops they thought were there to protect them. How did it get to that point? With a command staff in tatters, every officer had to make individual decisions. Stay and fight or flee, arrest criminals or join them, become heroes or cowards, or possibly even killers. Some officers crossed the line. Others stepped up and did their jobs.
Once the storm reached about 50 miles an hour, we actually locked the station up and put chains around the station.
The NOPD's 1st District officers rode out Hurricane Katrina in this Canal Street hotel.
The wind is gusting pretty bad.
Lieutenant Sandra Simpson captured the chaos with her video camera.
Oh, man. We gathered in the hallways of the hotel with some of our flashlights, and we still had some radio communication.
That's when I heard the officer on the radio.
An officer who was trapped in his attic.
The attic was filling up with water all the way to the attic vent, and he was getting more panicky. There'd be silence, deafening silence.
And I'm thinking to myself, this could not be. I cannot be listening to police radio with one of my fellow officers drowning, and we can't help him.
So at some point I said, "Do you have your gun?" I said, "Shoot all of your bullets and shoot the vent loose."
And he was able to kick it out, and he did get up on the roof of his house. He came in the air, and he managed to escape.
As soon as he gets out the attic, he says something like, "Can I do anything for anybody?" So you can see the unselfishness of this policeman.
The rain and everything was over with. We didn't get any water. Then all of a sudden, we heard a loud boom. And the water was coming up from the floor.
Deborah and Danny Brumfield were high school sweethearts who had managed to make it out of the projects to buy their own home in the lower 9th Ward.
Watch your head, double time.
Now they were trapped there with Deborah's diabetic mother.
The water got 7 feet high inside our house. He asked me to go up into the attic. He asked my mama to climb. She said she couldn't climb the ladder. A 300-some-pound woman, it wasn't gonna climb the ladder. He said, "Mom, I'm not gonna let you drown."
Danny sawed a hole in the ceiling big enough for his mother-in-law to fit through, and then tied a sheet to her legs. As Deborah pulled, Danny pushed until the 3 of them were safely in the attic.
And he said, "Well, we'll ride it out here until the storm is over."
I was frightened. My little brother, he was hysterical.
About the same time in New Orleans East, Lance Madison was trying to wait out the storm. A career manager for Federal Express, Madison had stayed behind to take care of his younger brother Ronald, who was mentally retarded and afraid to leave the house. Out of 10 siblings, Lance was the closest to Ronald.
A lot of people couldn't understand his words, but by me being around him, I understood just about everything.
Suddenly, 10 feet of water poured into the house.
My brother's just real scared, and I just try to, calm him down.
Lance and Ronald spent 3 days in their attic.
When the water got down to about 6 feet, we decided to leave because we ran out of food, no water, and was getting real dehydrated. They had helicopters flying around, but they never came down to rescue us.
But the city's 8 police districts were also in trouble.
Now it's coming right up the steps.
Isolated and struggling to survive.
We're gonna make it. We're trying to be strong.
We are strong.
On the far eastern edge of the city where the Madisons lived, 7th District Commander Bob Barty's men were trapped inside Methodist Hospital.
Our officers actually witnessed people dying right in front of them. They were challenged with the fact of, because of contamination, what would they do with some of these bodies? It wears on you, and I'll say that. It would wear on anybody.
Police officers were beginning to realize they were on their own.
We should have boats. We should have life jackets. We should have motors. We should have fuel. We didn't. We didn't have anything.